It is the end of an era. BlackBerry CEO and Executive Chairman Chen is going to retire at the end of this week. He first took the helm a decade ago. Now the company is on a path to divide its IoT and cybersecurity businesses. During his tenure with BlackBerry, also served on the boards of Disney and Wells Fargo. He joins us now. John, I've known you for a lot longer, I guess, in those 10 years. I was surprised at how long you stuck it out helping to lead this company from its near-death experience at the hand of the iPhone. You're planning an IPO of the QNX automotive business next year. Why leave now?
Why? Sorry, what was that?
Why leave now?
Oh, why leave now? Well, first of all, we made a strategic decisions of splitting the company, and then in addition to that, I think the couple of things that I want to achieve were to stabilize the company financially, set a new strategy in software, take advantage of the technology that BlackBerry always has in security, and then launch two business units, one in cybersecurity and one in IoT. There has been a lot of ups and downs, but my terms is up, and I figure that that's best to leave it to the next shift, so to speak.
Yeah. So the cybersecurity business has been struggling, whereas that QNX business has been sort of powering things. How do you see AI influencing how the two pieces of this business do from here?
Yeah. So cybersecurity came. A big part of cybersecurity came from our acquisition of Cylance, who has been from day one an AI company. And we have the most AI patents in cybersecurity, in threat detection. So it's already a big part. It's not, we're way before everybody make it fashionable. It's already a big part of our offerings. And on the embedded IoT side, it will take advantage of the AI, but I believe that the next generation, where we're working on Ivy, which is our analytics platform that we co-develop with AWS or Amazon, I think that will take a lot of advantage of AI, and particularly all the AI algorithm that Amazon has.
So, John, it's Morgan. We're talking about how BlackBerry will essentially split into two next year. What will be next for you?
Oh, I don't know. I guess starting next Monday, I'm unemployed, and so I'm sure I'll do something. I haven't figured out what the next thing is yet.
Well, one of the things that you have done over the years to serve on boards, Disney right now and the rest of the media industry is going through a bit of a reckoning, also having to do with AI. What are your thoughts on how artificial intelligence affects potentially media and distribution, even outside of the technology toolmakers?
I don't know much about the distribution side. I think in terms of the creative side, it's going to be a profound impact. And so you need to just follow the strikes that is just recently been over, and I think there's another one brewing. So the content creation is going to be a challenge, but on the other hand, AI, for those of us who have been with AI for a while before, is like I used the word fashionable. AI has its ups and downs. I mean, it has its good point and its challenges also. So I wouldn't be all AI. I think this is a little bit of a overhype at this point.
There's a lot of talk about how the work on AI is going to move from data centers to the clients. Cars are one of those important clients. It's where BlackBerry's QNX has a lot of business. How rapidly do you expect that move to happen, and what sorts of companies do you think will benefit that maybe we haven't seen a stock impact in so far?
I don't know it doesn't seem to me today, but this is always, I have to qualify that. It doesn't seem to me today the OEMs, the car makers themselves, have a strong monetization effort in AI. Obviously, they know AI and they need to program that in, so to speak. I see a lot of new startup application, whether to make that runs on the OEM platform, the so-called software-defined vehicle platform. I think those people will take a lot of advantage of AI, battery management and the car as a wallet, and crash prevention, safety. The list just goes on. Smart 911 and so forth. I see a ton of that. BlackBerry has invested in some. I think we have about 20 or 30 applications that runs with the car, with the cloud, and take fully advantage of the AI part of the world. So those people, if they're successful, they either going to merge into an OEM or they're going to create an ecosystem themselves.